How's it going, guys, and welcome back. In this video, we're going to be checking out the location of all the collectibles in Goo Lagoon in Spongebob Squarepants remake for the PlayStation 4. This level consists of 11 socks, 5 balloons, and 8 golden spatulas. The first thing we're going to do as soon as we enter the level is set up the first part of the puzzle of the watchtowers. For this, simply hit the switches we're hitting here in the video to make the light reflect in the directions we need to, so that the light beam ends up hitting the tower in the far distance we can't yet access. We need to finish the puzzle at the end of the level, but it's better to set it up now so we don't have to mess around with it later. Once we've done that, it's time to go after the first sock. For this, change to Patrick here at the bus station, and then climb up the right hand side to get to the lifeguard tower. Then throw the fruit across to the switches, where we can jump across the towers until eventually we get to the end, where we're going to find the first sock. Switch back to Spongebob, and shortly after we'll come across Mrs. Puff, who asks us to save the children who are getting flown away by the balloons. The first balloon child can be found right next to Mrs. Puff herself. The second one is going to be immediately to the right of here, just where the first circle of these wooden stakes are. And then the third one yet again immediately after it, and the second set of these wooden stakes. And then from the top of here we can jump across to this roof, where we're going to find the second sock. Continue jumping across the pillars over the volleyball net, and here we're going to find the fourth and fifth balloon child. After we've rescued all 5 of the balloon children, continue circling around and we'll end up back at where Mrs. Puff is. Speak to her and she'll give us the first spatula in this level. This time, from where we saved the 4th and 5th one of the balloon children, jump across to the right and we'll see some tiki boxes on the left hand side. We're going to need to jump up these before the red one explodes to gain access to the top of the sandcastle, where we're going to find the third sock. If they do happen to explode before you get time to jump up, simply jump in the water to respawn the tiki boxes. Now switch to Patrick and go inside the castle and avoid the rising water until we get to the freeze fruit. Use this to freeze the water as it rises up and walk across to get the next sock. Now, while playing as Patrick, in the next section of the castle, we'll need to walk around the border of the edge of the castle wall. And when we get about halfway round, if we look down to the right, we can see a clam. Jump down here and pay the clam to gain access to the switch. Use Patrick's fruit throw to hit the switch, and this will spawn a load of platforms. Climb all the way around here, and at the end we'll find the second golden spatula. Now climb back up to the previous wall before we jump down and continue walking around this time until we get all the way to the top. Once we get to the top, we'll find the third golden spatula pretty easily. As for sock number 5, just before we cross the bridge with all the explosive tikis, we want to jump up to the left onto the Todo and use the Todo to bounce up to even a higher level right at the top of the castle, and here we can find the 5th sock. Then continue forwards, cross the bridge and go into the cave, and pretty close to the beginning of the cave when we jump across to this platform, we want to turn around and jump underneath the platform we just came from, and here we can find another sock. Again, continue forward just a little bit more, and eventually we'll come to this ramp with all the pufferfish rolling around it. Once we get to the top of this ramp, don't destroy any of these tiki boxes. Instead, use them to jump across and then continue around that pathway to find the 7th sock. The 4th golden spatula pretty much can't be missed, as it's found right at the end of the cave. After we pick this up, use the box to go back to the beginning of the cave, use the bus stop to switch over to Patrick, then get back in the box, come back to the end of the cave and use the ice fruit to freeze the lake near the end. Here, if we walk around to the left behind this pillar, we'll be able to find the 8th sock. Exit out of the cave into the pier section of the Goo Lagoon. Continue round until just after the Ferris wheel, we'll get to a minigame called the Waka Tiki. Here we will need to be using Patrick to use the fruit to hit the switch and activate the minigame. Then simply jump in and destroy all the boxes before the time runs out, and this will reward us with yet another sock. When we get to this first pool of ice, we want to grab the fruit and then go to the end real quick and throw the fruit at the Duplicatron 1000 at the end. And this will spawn a sock right where we're standing. We do pick it up here, though we get knocked off immediately, so it's kind of hard to see. But you'll see this no problem once you destroy the machine. Now it's time to switch back to Spongebob and continue through the level until we get to this area here where we can see the slide and another clam. Pay the clam to get access to the higher level where the bungee is by jumping on the trampoline, and then simply bungee off the side to find the 5th spatula. Now jump back down to the area where we paid the clam and the slides are, and if we jump on top of this cart, we can get on top of the tent where we're going to find the 11th and final sock. Now for the 6th golden spatula, we want to continue forwards until we get to the second one of these ice pools, where these bumper cars are, and destroy all the robots that are alongside them. We don't need to destroy the bumper cars. Then continue a little bit forwards, go inside the box, and this will teleport you back to where Mr. Krabs is. Speak with him and he'll give you the 6th golden spatula for destroying the robots. Now get back inside the box and just the other side of where this box is. Before we use the catapult to access the next area, we want to turn around, and while using Patrick, we want to use the freeze fruit to get across the lake. And once we get to the end here, we'll find the 7th golden spatula. Now after we've done that, we do want to use the catapult to get across to the final section of this level. And here hit the right hand side switch with Spongebob. And this will end off the puzzle we started right at the beginning of the level, hitting the robot with the reflection of the light beam. After we've done this, go back to the beginning of the level and speak with the lobster to get the 8th and final golden spatula. So I hope this video was helpful, guys. If it was, don't forget that thumbs up button, subscribe for more content coming very soon, and we'll see you next time.